Hey Saints, Elena here. Hey Saints, welcome to SFHS Today. I'm Tessa. Welcome back to another week of SFHS Today.
Welcome back to SFHS Today. I'm Brittany.
And I'm Elena. This week, Trap Club signed up for the upcoming season. The club is open for 9th to 12th grade students and registration is on a first-come, first-served basis.
Last weekend, the speech team competed and Say talked to the captains on how it went.
How is your speech season going so far?
Well, we just had our first tournament at Andover and we took 8th out of 20 teams, and a surprising result. We were missing a couple people due to conflicts with other activities, which happens, but we have a very young team, a lot of 8th graders, and still we had some people just rise up and shine at the tournament.
What do you expect out of this year's season?
Oh, I expect a lot of continued success. We have captains who have worked really hard and are bringing along the young people and are already having success. We have new students like Sarah Wyatt, who's already experiencing some success. So I think we'll have a very strong showing and send numerous to state.
How did Sarah Wyatt do in her first meet?
She did extremely well. To walk into her first tournament and she finaled without ever having been at a tournament before or seen what we've done. She stepped in and did a very, very humorous speech that couldn't ask more for the first tournament ever.
What do you or your students do to prepare for a meet?
To prepare for a meet, students have various, depending on their category, they bring their speech in, we look at critiques that they do, they record themselves, we watch their recordings, and then based on what we see, we just try to improve every week. We always say it's a marathon season. Any tournament we might do well at, but we have to keep improving because the competition will be too.
And how are your captains doing?
Captains are doing phenomenally, led by Sam Burville, who's always there for the students when either myself or Mr. Graves or Ms. Moriella can't help them. Then there he is helping out students, and he did very fine at the first tournament. Krista Mayarka double entered, and it was really in preparation for Harvard, where the upperclassmen are going with us in a couple weeks here. They're doing everything I need them to do and more. Really proud of them.
Can you tell me about Harvard?
So at Harvard, some of our juniors and seniors are going to go. We have about 8 of us going. We're going to leave next Thursday, and we will be back on Monday. And so we're going to hang out in Boston on Friday, and then we get to have a tournament for 2 days, and then there's finals on Monday.
I was really pleased to find out how our team did over the weekend because I was at One Act. And we had one of our newbies, Sarah Wyatt, final and get 3rd place in humorous. A lot of our new members are really stepping up.
What was it like going into your first tournament?
It was really nerve-wracking, and I didn't really know what to expect, so yeah.
How does it feel getting 3rd place on your first try?
It was really exciting and unexpected, because I didn't think I did that well, but obviously I did.
Thanks, Sade. Auditions for the spring musical Footloose are coming up next week on Tuesday and Wednesday, right after school. Also, if you would like to learn the choreography before auditions, please come to the PAC today at 2:45.
Have you heard that one of our very own math teachers has a blog?
No, I haven't.
Well, our very own Meghan Schmidt has a math blog, which is making her our 5 minutes of fame.
Hi, I'm Meghan Schmidt. I'm a math teacher here at St. Francis. This is my 10th year at St. Francis. I teach college algebra, prob and stats, some algebra 2, and a little bit of math recovery.
Okay.
Well, I had met some teachers on Twitter who were blogging, and I'd listened to some podcasts of some blogging teachers, and I thought, gosh, that would be a nice way to kind of reflect on teaching. And so the best advice I was given about starting a blog was just start somewhere. So I chose a prompt that someone, a question someone had asked on their blog, and I started my blog by responding to it and got my blog out that way. And I post I post maybe once every other week, nothing regular, and I tweet them out, and that's kind of how it started.
Yeah, and what kind of topics or subjects do you talk about when it comes to your blog?
It's usually a math activity that went really well that I feel like I need to give attention to or give praise to or I'm really excited about. Sometimes it's about something I'm frustrated about in my own classroom or in math in general. And sometimes it's just some personal reflection on. Recently, I think it was right around New Year's, I wrote a blog post about being a recovering addict, and that was something I've been recovering for about 3 years, been sober for 3 years, and there was a board member who who's active in the St. Francis Drug Awareness Committee that encouraged me to, he said that he would be supportive if I decided to go public with it, and so that was kind of it had been rolling around in my head, and so I kind of took that advice, and that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, I suppose, and I wrote a blog post about it. Received so much positive feedback. It was very, and then people, when you write a blog post about something so personal, you find all of these other people that are struggling with those issues, and you can kind of be a support for that. And so that's been really fulfilling for me to be able to be a support for others that are going through similar things.
And do you have any advice for anyone that's thinking about starting up a blog, or how can they do it, or what can be a topic for them?
2 things. One, write about what is natural for you, which may not be mathematics. Write about what you're interested in, and don't worry about who reads it. When I started a blog, it was just I was writing about a math lesson, and I didn't worry. I wrote it for me, and then your personality comes out in it, which makes people want to read it, but you can't write it for who's going to read this. I'd say like a message behind my blog is that math is accessible to everyone. That math doesn't have to be this school isolated scary thing, and that there's ways to make kids enjoy math, help kids enjoy math, that isn't open a textbook and do 2 through 28 even. It can be about exploration. It can be about students moving around the room. It can be about trying something new and different that scares you a little bit, about chaos in your classroom. And I think that I try to write about those kinds of things in my blog to kind of encourage other teachers to try those things, so that math doesn't stay this scary thing that a lot of people think it is.
Thanks, Tessa, for the information.
Next Thursday at 6 p.m., seniors who would like to attend the FAFSA meeting should report to the PAC to get information.
Amanda and Cassidy went and talked to our principal, Mr. Austin, to see how his year here has been so far.
I think so far it's been a really good school year. I've been really kind of transitioning as my first year as a principal. It's been a positive experience getting to know students and staff. I think generally speaking, I've been really impressed with the student body and how they connect with staff and progress that we've made so far this year.
And what have you learned being here?
One thing I just come across with me with the student body is just the amount of respect and responsibility that they have. I really see a strong level of caring for fellow students. And it's great to go, on Saturday night we had the benefit with the 2 basketball games, the number of people within the community and student body and parents that were there. So I just see a really positive role models within the school, especially among the upperclassmen.
And what are some of your priorities for the rest of the year?
Well, priorities is obviously we have testing coming up, which is important. We have MCA testing for both juniors and sophomores, and then ACT testing for juniors, so trying to make sure that we're ready for that. Also making sure that we finish out the year strong and moving forward, especially making sure the seniors have a great experience the last few months that they have, and then also kind of building the bridge for the following year and make sure that we're set to move forward.
Thanks, ladies. Future yearbook students, remember to pick up your application forms and turn it into Mr. Olson in his room by next Friday to be considered for the class.
Also, the yearbook has a few extra pages available.
If you would like to buy 1/8 of a page, it would be $5, and 1/4 of a page is $10.
Tutoring is now available after school in the Media Center. If you're interested in being a tutor or if you need one, stop in and see Mr. Fensick.
Attention guys, are you looking for a gift to give your girlfriend or just your friends in general? It's just your luck that Student Council is selling roses in the lunchroom and will be delivering them next Friday.
Prices are $20 for a dozen, $12 for a half dozen, and $3 for one.
Also, Student Council will be talking to current freshmen soon. Isaiah went out to see what it is all about.
Primarily with freshman students, and I had the idea that maybe it would be helpful for 9th grade students, having interacted with them as much as I have, to get some feedback and guidance from upperclassmen about how to handle all kinds of things that they encounter in high school. Anything from, study strategies and that kind of thing, but more importantly, real life stuff. How do you handle a teacher that you really don't like? Or, well, what if your friend is doing this and you feel kind of torn? How do you handle that? And so the thought was to give freshmen a chance to be around some upperclassmen, especially ones that maybe kind of know how to navigate those things, so student council kids or NHS kids, and go around and kind of talk about those kinds of things that might be helpful for a 9th grader to kind of think about.
Thanks, Isaiah. Well, have a super weekend, Saints.
Stay tuned for Random Question Thing, weather, and sports.
It's the Random Question Thing, ding! I'd be a hippo, because they majestically swim in the water.
Let me think for a minute. An orangutan.
A laughing hyena, because I like to laugh, ha ha.
A great white shark.
I'd be a chupacabra, because Miss Brasenio hates me for saying that.
Monkey.
Probably be Katy Perry or a lion.
I'd be a kitty, because they're cute.
I'd be a wolf because they're awesome.
I'd be a cat, because I like cats.
I would be a pufferfish.
A dinosaur, because I want to be huge.
I'd like to say I'd be a butterfly, so I could fly away with all the spirits and maybe come as one colony with the other butterflies. And get a different take on life, not only as a butterfly, but as a spirit in the sky.
Hey Saints, Metal Matt here.
Hey Saints, Lucas Phelps here.
Friday is going to be a high of 30 and a low of 10.
Saturday is going to be a high of 36, a low of 25.
Sunday is going to be a high of 34 and a low of 19.
Thanks, Saints.
Hey Saints, I'm Maddie Burwell.
And I'm Jeremy Jansen. Welcome to sports.
On Tuesday, girls basketball had a home game against St. Michael. St. Michael won with a score of 41-72. Tonight, the girls will be traveling to Buffalo.
Boys basketball traveled to St. Michael on Tuesday, returning with an unfortunate loss of 40-42. Buffalo is coming to St. Francis tonight in an epic duel against the basketball team.
Yesterday, girls hockey competed in the section quarterfinals up in Grand Rapids.
On the boys hockey front, they played Tuesday at home against Richfield with a score of 10-1. Last night, they played Rogers at home, and tomorrow, they play at home against Buffalo at 3.
Athlete of the Week this week is Jake Broman, who recently signed with Waldorf for hockey. Here's Mackie and Phelps with information.
I just recently committed to Waldorf College, and it's a D3 school in Iowa. It's a small Christian school, private school. It's about maybe like 650 kids.
How was meeting the players and the coach?
They were really cool. Right when I got there, they introduced themselves to me. They made me feel welcome already, and I wasn't even committed yet. And they just, I don't know, they were really cool.
That's cool. And then how was it watching your future team play?
They were good. They were really aggressive. They went after the puck a lot. They communicated well on and off the ice.
Through your hockey career?
Mostly my parents and my grandparents especially, driving me to camps and practices all throughout, the state. Moving from St. Francis to the Owls was different. I think it's a different pace, that's for sure. And I think it's way different because you're going against 19, 20-year-olds, and they're a lot bigger, faster, they hit harder. It motivated me a lot to strive to be the best I can be and to show you don't have to be a certain age to be at a higher level.
Thanks, guys. Wednesday was National Signing Day. We had 3 seniors sign. Ron Olson signed with Moorhead, Blake Marino signed with Mankato, and John Santiago signed with UND.
Tonight is JV conference for gymnastics as they head over to Cambridge.
Tomorrow, wrestling has a JV conference meet at St. Michael Albertville.
Have a great weekend, Saints.